Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, February 1st, 2024. The time is 1:30 p.m. and I'm pleased to call to order on behalf of the City of West Palm Beach the regularly scheduled February meeting of the City of West Palm Beach Zoning Board of Appeals. I forgot to say, I usually do, but it's a beautiful day here in Paradise, so let's get this started. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'll now ask our board secretary to please call the roll.
Christopher Hagan.
Here.
Christopher Cameron.
Here.
Michael Hyman.
Here.
Dana Peacock.
Here.
Alfred Fields.
Here.
Jonathan Burgess. May the record reflect that Jonathan Burgess is not in attendance today. Matthew Chambers.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have a quorum. And because member Burgess is not in attendance, then board member Peacock will be a voting member at today's meeting. So the first item of business is approval of the minutes. I'd ask if anybody had any comments or corrections to the minutes. Wait, sorry, 1 second while we get you logged in. Okay, Jonathan is here. Okay, let the record reflect that board member Burgess is here present at the meeting, so he will be a voting member unless there are any recusals. Then Chambers and Peacock will sit as alternates. Now we'll go to the approval of minutes. Does anybody have any additions, corrections to the minutes from November 2023? I did have a correction to what went out in our board packet, which applies to both case 34-27 and case number 34-28. Because board member Burgess recused himself there, board member Peacock was a voting member in those, so those did pass 5-0 with board member Peacock voting on those, and just needed to show that in the record. Any other comments or additions, corrections to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the minutes with the added corrections stated by the chair. Second.
Okay. It's been moved by board member Fields and seconded by Vice Chair Kammerer. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. The minutes from the November 2023 meeting are approved. Now I'll move to a report from the Planning Division staff, if there is one.
Board members and Chair, Happy New Year. I think we've seen you guys this year. Staff has no changes and nothing to report.
Thank you. Now it goes to remarks by the chairperson. So I will go through the procedures for today's meeting. Matters before the Zoning Board of Appeals are quasi-judicial in nature. Anyone wishing to speak, including members of the public who wish to offer public comment, will need to be sworn in. The applicant will make a presentation and answer any questions from the board. Then the applicant will be followed by city staff, who will provide a presentation and recommendation to the board, and then answer any questions. Members of the public will then be given the opportunity to provide comment, with each person receiving up to 3 minutes. City staff will also insert any public comment received in advance of today's meeting, such as emails, voicemails, etc., into the record. At that point, the applicant will have an opportunity for rebuttal, and then the floor will be closed. The board will go into executive session for a discussion, motion, and then vote. And as a reminder, there are 4 votes that are required for approval of an item on the agenda. With that, we'll go ahead and go through and any declaration of ex parte communication. I'll start on my left with board member Peacock.
Thank you. As to matter case number 3434 and case number 3433, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. Board Member Burgess?
Thank you. As to matter 3434 and 3433, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. Board Member Hyman?
Yes, thank you. In regards to the cases before us today, 3433 and 334, excuse me.
3434.
3434. I've had no ex parte communications, received no written communications. I have visited the site. I have not conducted an investigation, and have not received any expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. Vice Chair Kammerer?
As to matters 3434 and 3433, I have not had any ex parte communications. I have not received any written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. And I have not received expert opinions, and I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. Board Member Fields?
As to the matter of case number 3433 and 3434, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site inspection. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. And then Board Member Chambers?
As to the matter of cases before us today, 3433 and 3434, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted a site investigation. I have not made a site visit, and I have not received expert opinions. I request that all these disclosures and written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. And for myself, as to case number 3434 and case number 3433, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record. At this point now, we'll move to the public hearing and have the speakers sworn in. If you are here to speak on any of the items on the agenda, please rise, raise your right hand, and be sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We will then start with the first case on our agenda, which is Zoning Board of Appeals, case number 3434. I'll ask our board secretary to please read that item into the record.
A request by Kathleen for variances from section 94-302 Bravo of the City Zoning and Land Development Regulations, ZLDRs, for the construction of a fence and gates. The location, the subject property consisting of 0.12 acres, is located at 523 40th Street with within Commissioner District Number 1, Kathleen Ward.
Thank you. So we'll first ask the applicant to make a presentation.
Hi, my name is Danny Cole. I'm the fence company doing the project. She's just requesting to get permission for the front two aluminum gates to be 6 foot. She has vegetation that's going to be 6 foot everywhere else. The rest of the fence will be 4 foot. It's a highly traffic area with a lot of unwanted customers walking by. She has a 4-year-old daughter. And in regards to the gates on the side of the house that are wood, they line up adjacent with the neighbor's fencing, and she has a water filtration system built against that, and they're requesting it go 4 more foot back, which will make her move all our filtration systems. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
I'll ask if there are any questions from the board for for the applicant's representative. We'll start with Board Member Burgess. Questions?
No questions for the applicant.
Okay. Board Member Hyman?
No questions, thank you.
Okay. Vice Chair Camera?
No questions.
Okay. Board Member Fields?
No questions.
Board Member Chambers?
No questions.
Okay. And Board Member Picat?
No questions.
I don't have any questions for the applicant, so,
Thank you, sir.
yep, thanks. We'll now have staff come forward and make their presentation to us. Thanks.
Good afternoon, board members, everyone. Ann Volsey for the record. Today I'm presenting ZBA case number 3434. And it is a variances for 523 40th Street. So the subject property is .12 acres. The zoning is single-family, high-density, SF14 residential district. The surrounding uses in the north, it's a vacant residential lot. East and west is residential, and in the south, there is a church. So the request is from section 94-302B relating to fences, walls, and hedges. There are two variances as part of this request. At 20.6 feet, there is a proposed 6-foot fence right at the building baseline. And 2 6-foot pedestrian gates. So that will be the 4.4 feet variance request. And at 25 feet, there will be a 6-foot pedestrian gate right at the property line and a 6-foot slide gate right at the property line, making that request a 25-foot variance request. So this is an aerial view. In yellow, we have the subject property, and in red, right south, is the Northwood United Methodist Church. Southeast is the Northborough Elementary. And as stated by the applicant, it's that these are some of the hardships presented by the applicant, that there is a high use of pedestrian there's a high pedestrian use within that streetscape. Here's a site photo as it exists. So here's just a diagram illustrating the current layout. So in the blue is the existing structure. The red dashed line shows the required 25-foot setback. So this house was built in the 1950s. So it is existing legal non-conforming. So it already encroaches it as a structure. So now they're just proposing to put the fence right at the building baseline. And in red here, I have the request circled. So staff is recommending approval with conditions since this request meets all the variance standards found in section 94-38D6 of the City of West Palm Beach zoning and land development regulations. This recommendation is made subject to the following conditions: that the front setback variance shall only apply to the proposed fence and gates. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I'll turn over to the board with any questions of city staff. Start with Board Member Hyman. Any questions of city staff?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay. Vice Chair Camera.
No questions.
Okay. Board Member Fields.
No questions.
Board Member Chambers.
No questions.
Board Member Picat.
No questions.
And then Board Member Burgess.
Yeah, just a quick question, I hope, on the pedestrian gates. Are they swinging out or in from the sidewalk? Can we keep that? Should it be a
Gonna be
condition to make them swing in?
It's gonna be one of the, at permit review.
Okay. So that's not required to be a condition per se, it's just part of the process?
Right.
When it'll come up, okay. And that's the 0-foot setback for one pedestrian gate, and then just to help me understand, the other two locations are just
So,
adjacent to the building, but within the setback, got it?
right, so south, there's the 6-foot slide gate at 0. Then we have the pedestrian gate, also at 0. And right near the building, right near the residence, sorry, there's an encroachment of 4.4. So it should be at 25, but they're proposing it right where the structure is set back, which, as you can see on the survey, is 20.6.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Could you put the photograph back up? There wasn't a photo in the board packet, and I thought that was very useful in your presentation to kind of see the existing condition.
The photo itself?
Yeah, the photo itself of the front elevation. Okay. So there's, I was trying to tell, is that a gate that's there today? That's the kind of the standing wood?
Yes.
Okay. So so the gate that's a 0-foot setback is basically replacing that gate?
Correct. So it would just be the height difference. So the height is what the variance is relating to. They can have their request right on the property line. However, it's because it's over 4 feet within
Okay.
the front yard. So that's why we have to.
Yeah, and what I was trying to tell from the photograph is this replacement of that gate, or is it just bringing something that was not in maybe a non-conforming use in conformity?
No, it's brand new.
It's brand new, but what's there today is already a
It's
6 foot.
conforming.
Yeah.
It's 4.
Oh, okay. So that fence is, because it's taller than the fence, but the fence is lower than 4 feet.
The fence is at 4. The
Okay.
gate, it just has decorative features.
Well, the gate, yeah, because the gate looks like it's taller than the
It is.
than the fence. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to make sense of especially once this was shown, how that compared to what the request was. Okay,
Got it.
that's helpful.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think that covers board questions for staff. So what we'll do now is open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to come forward and speak on this matter, please come up to the podium. Okay, seeing none. I'll next ask staff if there were any emails or voicemails that need to be read into the record.
No emails, no inquiries. to put
Okay.
in the record. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. With that, I'll close the public hearing and move it to executive session. So I'll just start with Vice Chair Kammerer, if any discussion or comments.
No comments.
Okay, Board Member Fields.
No discussion, no comments.
Okay, Board Member or Alternate Chambers.
No questions or discussion at this point.
Okay, and Board Member Picott,
No questions.
Board Member Burgess.
No comments. Thanks.
Okay, Board Member Hyman.
No questions.
Okay, no comments myself. So at that point, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that the Zoning Board of Appeals grant ZBA case number 3434, a request by Kathleen Ward for a variance from section 94-302B of the city's zoning and land development regulations for the construction of a fence and gate along 40th Street within the required front setbacks, specifically relating to the minimum property development regulations in the zoning district. The motion is based upon the testimony presented along with the application submitted and staff report, which constitute competent, substantial evidence. The board hereby makes finding of fact that each of the criteria in Article 2, Section 94-38D6 of the City of West Palm Beach zoning and land development regulations have been met. In addition, the granting of the variance is made conditional upon the following restrictions, stipulations, and/or safeguards that I move are necessary to ensure compliance with the proposed and intent of the zoning and land development regulations and consistent with the comprehensive plan of the City of West Palm Beach. 1, the front setback variance shall only apply to the proposed fence and gates.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second the motion. I'm sorry. Excuse me,
Okay.
Chris.
The item was moved by Board Member Fields and seconded by Board Member Hyman. I'll ask our Board Secretary to please call the roll.
I'm sorry, say one more time.
Yeah, just please call the roll. And so we have 5 voting of the 5 voting members.
Understood. Christopher Hagan,
Yes.
Christopher Cameron,
Yes.
Alfred Fields,
Yes.
Matthew Chambers, Michael Hyman,
Yes.
Jonathan Burgess.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. The item is approved 5-0. So best of luck. We'll now move on to the second item, excuse me, on our agenda today, which is Zoning Board of Appeals case number 3433. I'll ask our board secretary to please read that item into the record.
A request by Darrell Gimble for variances from section 94-304B2 of the city's zoning and land development regulations, specifically relating to the required side setbacks of an accessory structure addition. Location is approximately 0.13 acre site and is located at 502 Colonial Road within Commission District Number 5 by Commissioner Christina Lambert.
Great. Thank you. I'll first ask the applicant to come forward and make a presentation. State your name and address for the record and confirm you've been sworn in.
Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody. My name is Darrell Gimble, and my address is 502 Colonial Road in West Palm Beach. Okay.
Yes, you can proceed with your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Good. What you're looking at here outside of the red box, if you can see the big red box on the left, is an existing space when I moved in, a basic living space. The 6-foot addition that comes forward is what I need the variance for. And what that holds is a laundry room, and any storage that I could possibly have in my life all has to be in that. The home is small, and there is no other storage on the property. So it basically has a washer and dryer, bicycles, paint cans, gardening tools, stuff like that. So without that space, there literally is nowhere to put anything. The existing structure is 1.9 feet off of the property line to the east, and which would be behind, or to the left of that picture, sort of. So I followed the line. So it's just another 6 feet forward. All right, so let me move on to the next slide. So as I just said, the room was added to the pre-existing structure, which was 1.9 feet from the property line. It's kind of the same story here with a different picture, just showing you the additional space in the red. Just let me know if you need me to go back to anything. This is just pertaining to I guess something that you all look for, and my response was just that in the area that I live, a residential area, it's certainly not uncommon for a home to have a laundry room. When I bought the home, there was no laundry in the house and nowhere to put a laundry room in the house. So this was sort of the only way to go that made the most sense, and that really didn't disturb not only anything on the property, but anything around me, meaning the neighbors. Yeah, and this is just saying that, not having this variance, I would not be able to have a washer dryer or any storage, which is something that would be, most homes in the area, if not all, have. And yeah, that would definitely be a hardship to me. This just kind of shows you some of the things that are in there. You can see the paint on the top, bicycles hanging. Yeah, and it's pretty minimal too. It actually looks like there's more in there than there really is. Sometimes I'm always looking for more space, but there isn't any. So I'm always getting rid of things. This is stating the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of the regulations. I'll just read it. The granting of this variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of these regulations, as the laundry storage room does not alter the appearance of the property such that the property is dissimilar to surrounding homes, as shown on page 1. If you need me to go back, let me know. This is another picture here. The variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to any public welfare. It's a private property. The property cannot be put to reasonable use, which fully complies with the requirements of this code, as the property and home, without the add of a laundry and storage, would have no washer dryer, requiring me, the applicant, to go to a laundromat, basically. Such a requirement would be uncommon for homeowners in this neighborhood, and it would be a burden for me to have to do that. Additionally, there would be no storage on the property for commonly stored household items such as bicycles, gardening tools, paint cans, etc., whereas homes in this area typically will enjoy those things. On there you could see the washer dryer. This is sort of a wide angle view. It's a lot more narrow. I am not requesting that non-conforming use of neighboring land, structures, or building in other zoning districts be considered as grounds for the authorization for this variance. And this is just financial hardship. Well, at my age, having to go to a public laundromat versus having one in my home or on my property would definitely be hard for me physically and just time-wise. And without the storage room, I would have no place to store any of these things. So requiring removal, the biggest thing would be requiring removal of the space would impose significant financial hardship. It would really destroy the property. That's about it, I think, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll start off with board questions for you, and start off with Board Member Fields. Any questions of the applicant?
No question at this moment.
Okay. Board Member Chambers?
No questions at this time.
Board Member Picotte?
No questions at this time.
Board Member Burgess?
No further questions.
Okay. Board Member Hyman?
No questions.
Vice Chair Kammerer?
No questions.
Okay, and I have no questions. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you may be seated, and then staff will come up and make the city's presentation.
Good afternoon. So this is over ZBA case number 3433, a variance on 502 Colonial Road. My name is Valentina Broglia, a planner with Development Services. The subject property is about 5,662 square feet. It's within a single-family, low-density zoning district with residential uses surrounding. The city property cards from 1963 show that the existing structures is a residential home and a garage in the rear of the property. The garage being an accessory structure, which is permitted in single-family, low-density zoning districts. The setbacks would require 5 feet from the side setback and 5 feet from the rear. The 99 square feet addition follows the same building line as the existing structure. If it was to be placed in the rear, the rear currently meets the zoning code regulations. However, the side setback does not, but to keep it in flow with the existing building line, it would require a variance. That's why we're here today. It is the best location for the 99 square foot addition, as to the west of the building, there is the entrance into the garage. Currently, right now, the screening from Webster, which is a if you're facing west, it is screened with a fence and vegetation as well. Therefore, Darrell Gamble is requesting for a variance from section 94-304B2 of the city zoning and land development regulations, specifically relating to the required side setback of an accessory structure addition. The required is 5 feet, the proposed is 1.9 feet, and the variance requested is 3.1 feet. Staff recommends approval based on the findings that the petition meets all the required variance standards found in section 9438D6 of the City of West Palm Beach zoning and land development regulations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will now move to board member questions, if there are any. I'll go first to Board Member Chambers. Any questions of staff? Any questions of staff, or, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I don't have any questions at this point.
Okay. Board Member Picotte, any questions of staff?
Not at this time.
Okay. Board Member Burgess?
No questions. Thanks.
Okay. Board Member Hyman?
No questions.
Vice Chair Kammerer?
No questions.
And Board Member Fields?
No question.
Okay, I have no questions of staff either, so thank you. At this point, I'll open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak on this item, please come forward to the podium. Seeing none, I'll ask staff if there were any emails or voicemails that were received that need to be entered into the record for public comment.
No emails, phone calls, or voicemails received.
Okay, thank you. So with that, I'll close the public hearing and we'll move to board executive session. So I'll start now with Board Member Picotte. Any discussion, comments?
No additional comments.
Okay. Board Member Burgess?
So it seems like the pre-existing addition is just internal to the site and only needing the variance to match the existing historic structure setback. So the variance of the 1.9 feet for consistency has precedence, and I would generally be supportive of the applicant in this case.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you. Board Member Hyman?
No additional questions, comments.
Okay. Vice Chair Kammerer?
No comments.
Okay. Board Member Fields?
No further discussion needed.
Okay. Board Member Chambers?
No additional comments.
Okay. I don't have any other comments or questions either, so at this point, I'll entertain a motion on this case.
I'll move that the Zoning Board of Appeals grant ZBA case number 3433, a request by Darrell Gimbel for a variance from section 94-304B2 of the city's zoning and land development regulations, specifically relating to the required site setbacks of an accessory structure addition. The motion is based upon the testimony presented along with the application submitted and staff report, which constitute competent substantial evidence. The board hereby makes findings of fact that each of the criteria in Article 2, section 94-38D6 of the City of West Palm Beach zoning and land development regulations have been met.
Thank you. So we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. The item has been moved by Board Member Burgess and seconded by Vice Chair Kammerer. I'll ask our Board Secretary to please call the roll of the voting members.
Christopher Hagan,
Yes.
Christopher Cameron,
Yes.
Michael Hyman,
Yes.
Dana Peacock,
Not a voting member, yeah, for
yes.
this item.
excuse me, Alfred Fields,
Yes.
Jonathan Burgess.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes 5-0, so the case is approved. Okay, that finishes our cases for this afternoon. We have no administrative appeals, no unfinished business, no new business or other business that I'm aware of. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay. It's been moved by Board Member Fields and seconded by Vice Chair Kammerer. All in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. See you all soon.
Great, thanks.